And Rogan was like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You have no idea what you're talking about. And he was repping the climate change is real position. Remember that? Here, let's watch some of it.
The real problem is with climate change is that, for sure, there has been ups and downs throughout the history of this planet. They're observable. They follow them in. I mean, it was one of the subjects that I had earlier today with Dr. Robert Schock. In 2014, the vast majority, 87% of scientists, said that human activity is driving global warming, yet only half the American public ascribe to that view. So
what website is
87%, and this is
Scientific American.
Yeah.
Yeah, .com though. Like that means it's making money. I don't trust that. If it was a .org, I would probably take that. But this is just a random website. And
well,
I don't
Scientific
trust
American is not necessarily a random website.
Scientific American is a .com. They're making money, so I don't trust them. Scientific American. And then she goes, well, maybe if it was a .org, I would believe it. By the way, they go on to pull up a .org and she keeps denying it. Oh my God. See, this is old school Joe Rogan. When he still had his finger on the pulse to one extent or another. When he still had one foot, at least, in reality. Tearing apart Candace Owens for being dead wrong on climate change.
I don't believe this like at all, just so you know.
You don't believe it like at all?
I
mocking her to her face for not believing in climate change.
I genuinely don't believe it. I know you do, but I genuinely don't believe it.
I believe most of the
87%?
time the consensus of scientists that are studying the data.
Right.
And so what they're doing is
But do you
studying.
remember all the stories that came out of the scientists that said that when they tried to present their evidence to show like they were basically getting shut down at every corner? You can pull that up too. Like scientists, look up the opposite, right? Instead of looking for what you're searching for, look for what you're not looking for.
I didn't search for it. That's what I found when I searched it.
Sorry.
Instead of looking for what you're looking for, why don't you look for the opposite? And he's like, I wasn't looking for this. I just typed in like information on climate change or whatever.
Yeah,
look up.
But
Look
this
up.
is my question.
Yeah.
Why are you so sure? This is an
No, but just what you just said, because what you just said,
extremely complicated subject.
And it is. I said I am not so sure that I would die on the hill for it. My opinion right now, and it's just that it was a means because forget the fact of whether you believe global warming is real. Let's say it's 100%. Let's say we know the fact it's real. Is there a way?
Well, let's just be clear.
Yeah.
Global warming, climate change is definitely real. It's happening.
Well,
The question
but
is why
always
it happened.
happened.
Yes, it has always
So
happened.
what are we? What is the climate change? Yes, the climate changes. It was different weather yesterday than it was today. The climate is forever changing. Like that's the problem. Is that people are making it seem like that's something weird.
No,
it's
no,
not
that's
unique.
not. You're misrepresenting the issue. The issue is people think that human beings are exacerbating climate
Right.
change to the point where there's a tipping point. We cross over that tipping
Right.
point. We're going to deal with huge problems that could be corrected if we act now and put a lot of funding into climate control.
Old school Joe Rogan. Old school Joe Rogan. So this guy who argued directly to Candace Owens' face, effectively, that she's a fucking idiot and she's a liar and she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about climate change because she doesn't believe in it. This guy ended up endorsing this guy. The guy who is planning to withdraw from the U.S. Paris Climate Agreement again, by the way. And that's why this is unforgivable in my opinion, right? This is why it's unforgivable because Joe Rogan knows better. He's smart enough. He knows better. You think he doesn't know or he didn't know that, hey, Trump in his first term pulled out of the Paris Climate Agreement, also pulled out of the Iran Agreement, which was working? You think he doesn't know these things? You think he doesn't know that the Paris Climate Agreement and the Iran Agreement were good? You think he doesn't know that? And he endorsed the guy, and then he pulls out of it. And Joe should have known this is what this guy's going to do. He should have known that because it's what he did already. And also, Joe should have known he's a fucking liar and lied to his face relentlessly for 3 hours straight, pretending the election was rigged. It wasn't. Now Joe knows it wasn't. Trump just won. Which, by the way, if Kamala won, would Joe have said it was rigged? Is he that far gone now? That's what he thinks? Lied about saying, I never said lock her up about Hillary. Of course he did. We played the compilation on the show the other day. So here's your, come get your independent media, dog. We're never fixing the country if this is our independent media, somehow even worse than mainstream media. One more thing that I wanted to point out for you guys. There was a video of Rogan talking about immigration. I believe it was with Duncan Trussell, his comedian friend Duncan Trussell.